The night had held her awake, not with noise but with meaning, as if every breath carried a question waiting to be honored. A hush moved through the room like a blessing, brushing her sleeve, inviting stillness instead of fear. Love felt present, not loud, but certain, felt in trembling hands and in the courage it takes to let truth rise without defense. This was not a moment of performance, but of presence, where hearts leaned closer simply by choosing to stay. If this resonates with you, take a moment to share it with someone who needs quiet hope tonight. Fear lingered nearby, familiar yet softened, no longer a wall but a doorway left ajar. Intention stepped forward gently, shaped by long nights and unspoken ache. When he reached for the lamp, light spilled across a face marked by effort and restraint, revealing tenderness that had waited patiently for permission. In that glow, the room softened, and something sacred whispered that healing is not rushed. It is walked side by side. Leave a comment if you've ever felt fear turn into an invitation instead of a barrier. Silence spoke before words ever could, carrying confession in the space between heartbeats. His trembling hands, the careful way he set down his cup, all testified to mercy tasting new on his tongue. Truth arrived not as certainty, but as warmth settling gently around them, a shawl woven of intention rather than guarantee. Quiet became a bridge, and love learned how to cross it without flinching. If you believe in the power of quiet moments, consider subscribing for more reflections like this. When he finally spoke, the words were careful, fragile as sacred glass. He named hesitation, the ache of pride, the pull of memory that kept him circling the edge of closeness. It wasn't blame, only a human map of how hearts stall, and then choose again. In listening, she heard not a request to be fixed, but an invitation to witness courage taking its first breath. Her response rose softly, not as advice but as mercy. You are seen, you are chosen, you are enough. The room seemed to memorize those words, holding them ready for weary days ahead. Fear shrank into shadow, doubt lost its authority, and the night leaned toward dawn with a promise shaped by staying rather than escaping. Comment below with a word you wish someone had spoken to you in your hardest moment. The turning point did not arrive with grandeur, but with a shared exhale. Timing, once cruel, paused to listen. The door of possibility opened just enough to let hope breathe. And the future whispered not demands but companionship. Healing revealed itself as courage practiced quietly, one step, one breath at a time. If this speaks to your journey, subscribe to walk these reflections with us. When their eyes met again, something eternal stirred, not certainty of ease, but commitment to presence. The divine thread pulled gently, shaping them for a purpose larger than either alone. Without words, a vow formed in the body, in breath, in the willingness to begin without armor. Share this with someone who is learning to begin again without fear. The night ended in sacred hush, and within it she heard a future calling them by name. Dawn did not rush them, it welcomed them. Two souls learned the rhythm of breathing together, and in that rhythm, home began to take shape. If you felt this ending in your heart, leave a comment and let us know. The room held its breath again as another truth unfolded, the silent war inside him. His distance was never indifference, but a battlefield between fear and longing. Every tremor, every pause, revealed a man listening to a chorus of old pain and new desire, choosing courage one heartbeat at a time. Subscribe if you want more stories that honor the unseen battles we all fight. He tested the boundary between safety and honesty with small, deliberate steps. You offered presence instead of pressure, and that mercy became shelter. Validation arrived like rain after drought, whispering that brokenness is often the shaping ground of something greater. Share this with someone who needs permission to move slowly toward truth. When the words finally came, soft, steady, sincere, they carried no fireworks, only light. I want you, spoken as a glow rather than a demand, met with a promise of staying rather than certainty. In that exchange, alignment replaced tension, and the silence turned into harbor. Comment if you believe gentleness can be braver than grand gestures. Fear did not vanish. It was given a seat and stripped of its throne. Truth took root without destroying tenderness, and courage brewed patiently, like something meant to last. The room brightened not with spectacle, but with relief earned through honesty. If this reminds you that fear can be dignified, consider subscribing. Their connection deepened through listening rather than conquest. Touch became permission, closeness an offering, and the space between them a shared sanctuary. Love revealed itself not as urgency, but as endurance shaped by care. Share this if you believe love is built more by presence than pursuit. As dawn approached, the war shifted from accusation to alliance. Together, they chose to walk rather than flee, to breathe rather than brace. The path ahead promised no parade, only faith steady enough to endure. Leave a comment if you've ever chosen alliance over escape. Guidance arrived quietly, not as command but as current. Timing proved itself a guide, and faith a lighthouse steady through doubt. The divine map glowed not in certainty, but in willingness to stay open when answers lag behind. Subscribe if you're learning to trust guidance that whispers instead of shouts. They named their aches without demanding solutions, and listening became a vow. Old wounds softened, transformed into teachers rather than jailers. The room blessed their honesty, holding it gently as a beginning rather than an end. Share this with someone who is learning that healing has its own tempo. In the final hush, they rose not because the storm had ended, but because they chose to walk through it together. Fear lost its tyranny, love found its voice, and morning answered with a promise that did not rush, only endured. If this journey stirred something in you, comment below and let your voice join the circle.